Hey, what's going on everyone? It's Stephen for Hey Techie here, and welcome back to the channel that's all about empowering you with the powers of your smart home. The question in today's video is evolution or revolution, as we dive into the second generation of Eve Home's portable LED lamp, the E-Flare. Are you ready? Let's jump straight into it. Before we go any further though, I just want to say a big thank you to Eve for sending us the E-Flare 2 to review. As always though, this has absolutely no impact about how we review these products. Everything in our videos is completely honest and unbiased, and we never collaborate with any brands who insist on influencing how we review products. Head on over to our website to see our ethics ethos statement in full. Priced at $99.95, the E-Flare brings the utility of a full-colour LED lamp for both indoor and outdoor use. But with this second generation, what exactly are the benefits? When you put the two boxes of the first and second generation side by side, you'll find them almost indistinguishable from one another. Unboxing the second generation, inside you'll find the lamp, a slightly heavier wireless charging base, and the power adapter. Now unfortunately the charging cable is the same as the original, which was not my favourite I must say, but I am delighted to say that there is now a UK power adapter for the first time, which is a major plus for those of us who didn't have US or EU plugs. We're not going to need an adapter for using this going forward, which is a massive plus. So then, although these two devices look almost identical, and you'd be very hard pressed to tell the difference between the two boxes, what exactly is new with the second generation E-Flare? Well, it's what's on the inside that counts, isn't it? And that's where the differences can be found. The big leap forward here with this upgrade is the inclusion of Thread, making this the first battery-powered light to support both Thread and Bluetooth that's on the smart home market right now. If you're new here, Thread is a communications protocol like Wi-Fi or Zigbee, and using Thread can help speed up your smart home by providing another way for your devices to communicate with one another, and it will free up your Wi-Fi's bandwidth. More broadly speaking, Thread is also a component protocol of Matter, which is quickly becoming the smart home gold standard, promoting cross-platform interoperability across all of the major ecosystems such as Apple, Google, and Amazon. Eve asserts that Thread technology enhances the responsiveness, robustness, and reach of your smart home network. In simple language, what they mean is that Thread makes the experience of using the E-Flare much faster and more streamlined than compared to the original Bluetooth-only model. Also, the way in which a Thread-connected smart home works means that Thread-based devices are more reliable compared to their Wi-Fi or Bluetooth equivalents, and that means you should be losing connection less often, or indeed not at all. Now, when actually setting up this second generation E-Flare, for the first time actually I had a problem connecting to my Thread network. After playing around with it, I discovered that the fix was actually to reboot my iPhone itself, and then try and check the Thread network again via the Eve app, and the issue had resolved. I'll be posting a video in a couple of weeks detailing about how to troubleshoot common HomeKit and Matter smart home problems, so if you like that tip, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on that video in a couple of weeks' time. In testing then, how did the second generation E-Flare perform? Well, in a direct test through the app, as you can see here, the Thread version is faster, but not by as much as I had expected. When testing both E-Flares side by side, you'll see that their colour, tone and range is identical to one another, and that wasn't a surprise since both have exactly the same components inside. This is just an update to include Thread. When testing out both E-Flares using other smart devices like the Onvis CT3 contact sensor that also supports Thread, and check out our review of that device up here, I really noticed the difference in timings between the two devices though, with the first generation E-Flare taking much longer to respond. Similarly, voice commands with Siri through the second generation HomePod also produced a noticeable speed difference between the two lamps, with the second generation E-Flare responding much faster on every occasion. All in all though, at least in my initial testing, there is a noticeable difference in speed, but it's not as massive as I had initially thought. On to battery life then. On paper, the second generation E-flare maintains the stated 6-hour battery life of its predecessor, which, considering that Thread is usually touted as offering a better battery performance, is a little bit surprising to me. In my testing though, which I must admit is only over a couple of days rather than the several weeks we usually test out our products here on the channel, the E-flare 2 lasted well over this estimated 6-hour life. At 100% brightness, connected via Thread, after at least 7 hours of constant use, the battery still had 20% according to the Apple Home and Eve apps. Now, this wasn't too much of a surprise considering that the original E-flare that we tested also outlasted the specifications stated on the box, although as it has aged, the battery life of the original has declined somewhat, but that is the same as any battery, to be fair. At the moment, the E-flare is exclusively compatible with Apple HomeKit, but Eve has announced an over-the-air update to Matter at some point in the not too distant future. And knowing Eve's commitment on this, I fully believe them when they say the update is coming. They were one of the first smart home manufacturers to say that they would offer free over-the-air updates to older Thread-supporting devices, and they have honoured this with almost all of their devices now having had an update to Matter. They've also started selling newer versions of these devices too, with Matter working straight out of the box. We'll be testing these out too in a couple of weeks, and there will be an update video on them, so please make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already and you're curious to find out what our take is. So then, the million-dollar question, is it an evolution or is it a revolution? Well, I'd say that the E-flare 2nd generation is a stellar evolution of an already excellent product. The inclusion of Thread is an incredibly welcome development, something that I was hoping for in my original review of the first E-flare. Plus, the new power supply with multiple international charging plugs is an excellent touch, fitting for a premium product like this, and Eve can help expand itself beyond catering just to Apple smart home users with Matter all around the world, and having these additional plug adapters is an excellent addition if that is their goal here. Is this device worth the upgrade if you've got the 1st generation? Well, maybe, if the extra speed that Thread provides is going to be transformational for you. But for most people out there who already have one of these, I can't see you rushing to upgrade, but if you are buying one for the very first time, it's definitely worth getting the 2nd generation with Thread, and with Matter around the corner, it's a no-brainer to future-proof your purchase as well. Thank you ever so much for watching. As always, please make sure to stay tuned for our other upcoming reviews on Eve devices, as well as smart home tips, tricks and reviews. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and why not let us know your thoughts about the 2nd generation E-flare in the comments below. Until next time then, I've been Stephen for Hey Techie.